And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Duster Squad podcast. We've got Rick back. We've traded. We've made it. The Duster Squad has made a trade. We have a trade to announce. It is. We are acquiring Rick in exchange for Nick.
There was you guys had a power forward and Nick, but you need someone who's a sturdy D man on the back end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we needed
I'm
some
supposed
more.
to come in and fix.
It was a big hockey trade, It was need for need. We needed a little more structure on the back end,
They needed someone to lay big checks, so we gave him Nick. Okay, so first of all, Halloween was this week, so I think we talked to Benny last week, so we know that you were doing stuff and you were being Steve from Minecraft.
I went out 2 different nights as Steve from Minecraft, and it was fun.
Double duty as Steve.
Oh yeah.
Eric, did you
My
do
mom
anything?
was like, nobody's gonna recognize that shit. And then I had like probably a solid 15 or so people would come up to me and be like, Steve, right? It was nice.
Very nice.
You're like, take that, Mom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually had pretty eventful. I don't typically do anything crazy for Halloween, but Caroline and I on Thursday night, we went with some friends to the Halloween parade in New York City. So you literally can just enter if you have a costume on, just enter this parade and just walk all the way down. Oh God, is it 6th Avenue? I think it's 6th Avenue, which just for like a Manhattan thing. So World Trade Center is Lower Manhattan, right? Empire State Building, MSG is up, right? So you don't start by the World Trade Center, but you're kind of in the middle and you walk up like past the Empire State Building. And
that's
fun. So
that is cool.
But it was really cool. I'll show you pictures. Do you guys both play Breath of the Wild? Or have you played Breath of the Wild?
I know enough about it that I'd probably recognize characters.
So actually, yeah. So the friends we went with when Caroline was living in the apartment with the rooftop access.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of you guys were there. Yeah. No, you two were. Nick wasn't. No, Nick was there.
I think we were all there.
We were all there. Yeah.
I don't remember.
So them, it was Brittany and Tim. Because
those were Caroline. I stayed a night on the couch
with the 2 cats. Yes, with the 2 cats,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah, so they dressed up as creatures from Breath of the Wild, and they got stopped. They got stopped by so many people who were like, because their costumes are really good. It's just I don't play Breath of the Wild, so I don't really know it. Yeah, but I'll send you guys a pic. But Caroline was a bee, and I was a beekeeper, and I got a beekeeper suit on Amazon. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
That's fun.
That's cool.
You
should have been a flower.
It's funny. So because of when I got sick, I was telling myself like it'd be cool to like put some time into making a costume, right? And I got sick all of last weekend. That's like when I wanted to put some time into doing it, and
right.
I was like, making a costume is just completely out the window now. Like,
yeah,
it was yeah. But yeah, no, that would be hilarious. But I just had a giant like a bunch of petals coming off of my head. But yeah, it was really cool. It was a fun time. We were out late too, and we went to after that. We went to Webster Hall, which is like a concert venue, and they had a Halloween after party. So everyone was in there, like on the dance floor. There were like drinks. They were like, you ever see those dancers where like they like hang from the ceiling and they have like the fabric or whatever and they like twist it?
Some like
they had like people like that. Yeah, they had people like that like hanging from the ceiling. It was crazy. But it was cool. So I've never done anything. I feel like I was really experiencing like city nightlife. Like everyone was partying. There was this guy with a costume. He was an X-Wing pilot and he had the white motorcycle helmet. He made like a backpack with like tubes coming. It was crazy. It was awesome. Nice. It was awesome. So great time.
Was it like surprisingly warm for you guys on actual Halloween day as well?
Yeah,
because it was 70 degrees up here, and I was like, I went out with just the t-shirt for my Steve costume, and I was fine. It was wild.
Being in that beekeeper costume, I had to like unzip the top of it and just air out every once in a while because it was so freaking warm. Yeah. Just like some guy when we were at Webster Hall, I had like the bee thing unzipped because I was getting a beer, and this guy, he was pretty intoxicated. He tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, dude, and he had an astronaut costume. He's like, us space guys, we got to stick together. And I'm like, I'm a beekeeper, man. And he's like, it's close enough. I'm like, all right.
that dude was flooring it, dude.
I'm like, this dude has a helmet for space, and I have mesh to protect me. So I think
you're just a really tough spaceman.
Yeah.
Really,
but that's it.
Seasoned.
Hold your breath for like a long.
You're a space vet.
Just hold my breath and also disobey all the laws of physics.
I would say, actually, I think the whole thing is your breath literally gets sucked out of you as you go.
But yeah, it was a good time. It was a very good time. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
very nice. We didn't do anything. We didn't really. We're not. I mean, Danielle likes to dress up. I'm not really big into the dressing up thing, but who knows? Maybe next year.
I've gotten into it in the last few years. It's been fun.
I don't know, dude. You were into it in high school too. I guess you probably took a break in college, but
yeah, it was like really after college, maybe like the last year of college, I think was when I did that Hopper costume. And then I only ever really did one or two good ones in high school. Like Ron Burgundy crushed it. Like that was
with the milk.
It was a down on his luck Ron Burgundy, because that was when I had just grown my beard and it was still unkempt enough because I didn't really know how to trim it that well yet. And granted, I still have my issues today, but it worked very well for the costume.
Do you have a picture of that? Because I would love to see that.
I think somewhere on my Facebook, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We'll filter that through the chat.
Mike, I feel like you're really creative though, so I feel like you could make a costume pretty cool if you put the time into it. But also, like, I understand if you're not if you're not gonna go out to like a crazy costume party or something, like, yeah, you just might as well just chill. Halloween is one of those holidays where it's like, yeah, I feel like you either do something like not crazy, but like it's like, all right, there's this big party and we have this, or it's just like,
you're either super you're either like super involved or like not at all. Yeah.
Did you guys have trick-or-treaters?
No trick-or-treaters here.
I was gonna ask. Yeah. No,
I don't think so. Well, nobody knocked, which is good because we would have had to give them like Harry Potter Hershey Kisses, and that's it. That's all we have. Or like Pokemon cards, because we have like these little Pokemon packs. I think they were literally made for Halloween, because they're like these little like 3-card packs that I think you're supposed to like hand out. Yeah, so we could have done that, but nobody stopped, so I guess they're all ours.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was fun. We watched It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
A
classic. Yeah, we've got a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving locked and loaded.
Yep, November.
Yeah.
You know what I hate about those though? Why is everyone such a dick to Charlie Brown, dude? They're so brutal to him, dude.
It's the whole bit is how can we be a dick to Charlie today?
It's awful, man. They're like what an ass! What a bunch of assholes, dude! Little pricks. Snoopy's the only good one. And
listen, we're gonna have
we're
gonna have an off-season episode breaking down this whole Charlie Brown dynamic, right? So stay tuned like 8 months from now.
Yeah, yeah, we will be like, all right, so this is what he should do to this person. No. Okay, so, gentlemen, today we're gonna start off. Now, I know normally we go. Could you put this in the sink for me, or take care of it for me? We're gonna start off with some of the heat meter.
So, let's go.
Yeah, so we're not, but this is non-NHL heat meter. So I'm hoping that you guys have seen what I need you to have seen.
But
we're gonna be looking at two football plays. You might have seen it on Twitter. You might have seen some stuff on Twitter because it's pretty funny. Okay. So, first up, player for the Jets. Name is Malachi Corley. I'm hoping you guys have seen this one. Maybe not though. This one is a little bit less embarrassing.
I can promise you, I haven't seen any of it. If it's football, I don't pay any attention to football.
This is what he does. All right, this is what he does. He is running in to get his first career touchdown, and he starts to celebrate
Yeah.
And part of his celebration is letting go of the ball before he crosses the goal line.
Dude.
Which is not, which I believe constitutes a fumble, and when it crosses into, I don't know who picked it up. Somebody else must have picked it up on the other team. But yeah, so basically he's running in to get his first career touchdown. He's a rookie.
Damn.
And he drops the
That's
ball
tough.
before and is like hype and celebrating. And by the way, it doesn't count because you dropped the ball too early. So how hot is it for that guy? I don't know who wants to do that.
Can I do both of them? Because Ben said
please do.
Okay, I'll take this, Benny. I got you.
Alrighty.
How hot is it in the locker room for Malachi?
I'm gonna say initially in that moment it was really hot. But then it simmered down to basically nothing because it's football and it's such a team. Like, I know individuals do matter, but it's such a team sport and it's such a moment that, like, I think the Jets still won that game. I believe it was against the Titans.
They did win,
and they, so I feel like it's just one of those things where people in the locker room are like, hey, remember when you were about to get your first touchdown and then you just blew it? They might like bust
You're not gonna live that one down. You're not gonna live that one down for a long time.
They might bust his chops about it and stuff. But I think for him, right, I really do think, especially with athletes, the most pressure that you'll get is the pressure you put on yourself, right? I'd imagine for most athletes. So that just kind of sucks. I feel like that if it was me, that would like stick with me for until I got a touchdown, basically. But that's embarrassing. Yeah, I think that's embarrassing more than anything. What's a good heat for like embarrassing? I don't even know on the scale.
That's a good question. What's an embarrassing chili pepper?
Yeah,
I feel like
red in the cheeks, looking away, being like, God, I hope no one saw that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or the embarrassment you get, when you picture something you did in high school and you're like, oh, God, dude, that was so cringe. Why did I do that?
The cringe pepper.
Yeah, he has that, except his cringe memory is, I'm still making like hundreds of thousands of dollars. However, that moment is televised and the replay of it will exist on the internet forever.
Will exist forever as a fail.
That'll be tough.
Yeah, but no, that's brutal. I want to end this. I know that wasn't much of a chili pepper remark. I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but in rugby, when they get into the end zone and they slam the ball down onto the ground, like that energy of I need to cross this plane and then smash the ball down. I like NFL players, please have
you
that.
kind of love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like no, I am going to be.
Yeah.
It's points.
Yeah. Like if I was an NFL player, I would have the ball securely and just run through the end zone and just jump up into the like or whatever.
And just keep running. Run through the no.
Just to be fair. But my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. I would throw a nice a jalapeno on that one. Pretty embarrassing,
Okay.
I would say. Pretty embarrassing.
Spicy.
Okay.
Now this next one is going to be higher.
Yeah, that's funny. I know what you're gonna talk about. You can explain it.
Okay, so it is a one-score game, meaning a touchdown for the Commanders will win it. It's Commanders versus the Chicago Bears, who have been a joke for my entire lifetime.
Even I know that they've been bad pretty much forever.
They are in the lead right now by less than one score. So, you know, but the clock's winding down. The Commanders get one last playoff, and Tyreek Stevenson is all the way down at the he's on the right end at least, but he is taunting the crowd and the Bears sideline as the play is unfolding behind him.
Oh no.
And
he's Commanders sideline.
I think it's the Commanders sideline.
Okay.
Or it's the Commanders fans. He's taunting somebody. He's not playing the game. He's off to the side doing his own thing, and then he turns around and he sees, oh shit, there's a play happening. He runs over.
Think the play had stopped.
The play had stopped, and I think that he thought the clock was just going to run out, and I think the Commanders got another play off.
Exactly.
And so he's doing his own thing over there, and then he turns around and realizes, okay, they got another playoff, and they were weighed like it was like I want to say it was like 60+ yards to get the ball down, and they do the classic Hail Mary, send everybody, and they all converge at like the 1 or 2 yard line, and the ball's coming down. He just the quarterback just flings it. The ball's coming down, and Tyreek Stevenson is over there now. Jumps up, tips it right behind him to a Commanders player in
oh no
in the end zone, and the Bears lose on a final play Hail Mary. So basically he wasn't paying attention and then caused the loss. So how hot is it in that locker room for him? And then I have a little additional information on this as well, because I read a story today about this, and it's interesting. It's interesting. That's all I'll say.
I think this might hit the Ass Blaster 9000.
This could be an Ass Blaster, dude. 100%. 100% is an Ass Blaster.
That's wild, because it's one thing to make a mistake, like a minor mistake on your own when you're like in the middle of the play or whatever, but to be ignoring the play entirely and to just be not doing your job at all and then have that be all pretty much a direct result in your team. That's
rough.
You know what?
That's rough.
Let's also look at the fact the Bears were the away team, right? So you're the away team taunting a home fan base, and then that fan base gets the last laugh off of a mistake that you directly committed. Oh, dude.
It wasn't even, I know, dude. It's so bad. And the fact that it was him that tipped the ball to the guy too is like, oh. I agree, man. That is a blaster. That is pure capsation blasting out of the anus.
You are going to be pissing shit.
No.
You will need the donut. Hemorrhoid donut. What do you think about that, Rick? Do you agree? Is that a blaster?
What can I say to follow that up? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Carolina Reaper would be the one that I would choose, but I think Ass Blaster 9000 is above that. So
So that's you can't be the only one above the 9000 is the 10,000.
Yeah.
So
we're working on breeding that strain right now.
Yep.
That strain of pepper.
Yep. Okay, so in the addition to this story is he this week or at practice was told, by the way, because of what you did, you will not be starting the next game. Seems pretty reasonable, right?
I mean, yeah.
And so
That's
he said,
fair.
so then he pulled himself out of practice because of that.
Oh boy.
So not only did he fuck up royally, he is not gonna just take his lumps.
How does he think that's gonna help things?
I don't know.
Like,
I really don't know.
Okay, that's just gonna make your coaching staff more mad at you.
Yeah.
Like,
then you're just not. Then you won't start the next week either. It's not like the Bears have a chance at anything here. They don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
good.
Yeah. Come on, dude. Just take your licks. You fucked up. You gotta sit in it for one game, and then it's not even that he's not gonna play. He's just not starting.
Yeah.
They could throw him in like halfway through or whatever.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I just wanted, it was two of like kind of wild plays in the NFL. I kind of wanted to highlight that. So.
Yeah,
a little bit of other sport action in here. Yeah.
Yep.
Those were definitely appropriate for the segment.
I'll have to get Nick's thoughts on those next week.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he was watching.
Oh yeah.
I hope he has one of those guys on his fantasy team. Speaking of fantasy, good Lord.
Do we want to just keep going entirely out of order?
Are we out of order?
Yeah, let's do it.
We have done fantasy earlier. I remember last year we did fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at the
Well,
Google
then
Doc,
don't even talk about out of order. I decide the order.
This is true. But fantasy.
So fantasy. So my team is doing really bad this week. They're not a bad team. I've been saying they're bad the last couple days. I have to stop doing that because they're not. They're a good team, but they have had a shite fucking week. And Ben's team has had the best week of all time, apparently.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Nuts.
Like, it's so
been
dumb,
nuts.
dude. It's so dumb. Like,
What's
the
nuts?
He's
I
at
have a
he's
chance
nearly
of
at
cracking
500.
500.
He's nearly at
if
500.
Ovi pops off for like a goal or two more, or if Pasternak gets a goal or something, I'll cross 500. Yeah, I'm at 492 right now.
Oh my god!
I'm beating 5 of the other 7 teams in the league in points.
Wow.
And I am losing.
You're probably beating my team.
I am beating you, but not by that much. You're in the lead right now. But yeah, I don't know, man. My team's just, they're like, and it's not, I guess I'm not even having that bad of a week. It's just that Ben's had an insane week.
Yeah, like I feel like 323. I won weeks with about that many points. My team is just going ape shit this week.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
they're going Benny's got like the next highest is my dad, and he's 100 points ahead of my dad. So it's like, so I just had a bad. Guess what? Guess what, guys? I had bad luck.
You had a bad matchup.
Would you believe it? Oh my gosh, man! I have the best team that's 0-4 of all time.
Yeah, because like Eric is about to win a matchup with 309.
I know.
Or yeah.
I'm gonna probably.
Just tough.
You know what? I'm probably gonna have more than 309 just because I have a few late games. And you're right. No, exactly. It's gonna be like, but it's gonna be like 3. Like I'm not breaking 330. No way. Well, I mean, probably not. Probably not though. But.
So basically, what happens is, and Nick's gonna win again with whatever, dude. Whatever. Whatever, dude.
Is Nick gonna still be undefeated after this week?
Yes.
Damn.
Most likely.
And then your dad and I are both gonna be 3-1-0.
Yep, I will be.
Hopefully.
You will be 3-1-0 as well, Eric. Don't forget about Rick.
Such a better start than I've ever. Like, I'm actually like paying more attention to fantasy than I did last year because my team was so mid last year. I'm like, I can't do this again.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be me and Mitch in the basement. 0-4.
Dang, dude.
What's the playoff situation this year? Is it top 6 teams?
Top 6 still, I believe. Top 6. Yeah, I think it's top 6 still.
Okay.
Yeah. A bit more competitive now. We're going to have 4 cuts.
Yeah, it will be a bit more competitive. Yep. So that means that the consolation bracket that I will be in will have a little more going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice.
That's true.
That'll be interesting.
Hey, don't say that. You don't know that. You could have a major comeback.
I could. I very well could. But
honestly,
it doesn't.
It sort of has to start this coming week.
It does not feel like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I will say, Mike, it is kind of cool because it's 1v1, right? Like, obviously, it is unlikely. Like, it's hard to come back from 0-4, but because of the format, like, it also can happen.
Compared to have to start doing some surgery on your roster, though.
Yeah. Well, the problem is the surgery I would do is dropping useless ass Elias Pettersson, and you know that if I do that, he's gonna start doing his thing.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid, man. And because we've added 2 more teams, the free agent market is even more depleted. So like a lot of the times if I pick somebody up, it's going to be like a lateral move. It's not going to be an upwards move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. You want to know the other funny thing is if it was the old format, you talk about how it'll be easier for me to come back in this format. If it was the old format, your boy's in first.
Yeah. If it was still points based.
But you know what? I don't care because I like this format more. It's more fun. It's more interesting.
It is.
Oh,
Nick being up there, I know he'll go up this week, but he's still probably gonna be.
Like Nick is a bottom feeder.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Nick. All you do is prey on teams having terrible weeks. That's all you do. Every year. He did this last year. That son of a bitch. He's got less points than my sister. My sister's in like 7th right now. Unbelievable.
Does Andy keep track of
Yeah.
her stuff or not?
I think she does okay. I don't think Mitch does.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Mitch does. I was kind of like when I was playing him, I'm like, dang, dude.
Although he has more points than Tony. Maybe Tony's not paying attention either.
Because
Who
Tony
knows?
David,
Because he what?
he has McDavid still, right?
Oh yeah, true.
That
Yeah, that
hasn't
hurts.
been
That hurts.
that hasn't been as much of a cheat code
That's
this year as it usually is,
No.
though. He's not had. I mean, Edmonton in general hasn't had
The
a
cheat codes
very
this
good
year are
start.
like dudes who you expect to have a decent amount of points, but are now having like what appears to be career years, like
Yeah.
Reinhardt.
dude, Nico Heischer right now.
Heischer.
Whoever has
Yeah,
holy
fucking
crap.
Jack Hughes, fucking bastard.
And Eric can't complain
Actually-
too much. You got Cole Caulfield.
Yeah,
Cole Caulfield, 10 goals. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. But yeah, so congratulations to everybody who's doing good. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, you're gonna make a comeback.
Straight
You're
from
gonna
the
make a
bottom
comeback.
of the league. Okay. All right. Who wants to talk about some games? I know Benny doesn't, but he's gonna.
Sure don't. But
go ahead. You can go first.
actually, I can get it out of the way first because
They
I
lost.
actually don't have
They
that
lost a
much
lot.
to say. They did. They really did. The game earlier in the week against Seattle, they were down, I think 3-0 before I even got home from work and turned the game on, and that was about halfway through the first. So I watched maybe a period's worth of that game, but it eventually got so out of hand where I'm like, no, I'm gonna love myself
That's enough
tonight
of that.
and not keep watching this.
Ben-
Um,
quick. So because I can't watch any Islanders games, right? But I have ESPN. I just threw on that game because I'm like, oh, it's the Kraken and the Canadians, and like
that was a dog shit game to throw on.
Yo, I'm just gonna say this. I would just look up and I'm like, 3-0. I'm like 4. I'm like, well, where are all these goals coming from? Then I started paying attention, and then Caroline and I just looked at each other at one point, and we're like, I hope Ben is okay.
My team's bad. I got very lucky with the game I went into. That being as good as it was, because my team's bad. Although it's so weird, because like
Sometimes they're not.
The few games they've won, they've looked so. I mean, I guess it is indicative of a young team trying to get used to this new structure that Marty's trying to get them to play, and it's a lot of young guys that have never done anything like that before in a league they're barely played in before. So it makes sense that they're wildly inconsistent and then sometimes pull it off because they're talented.
You know what? I have a question.
What's that?
Does Marty St. Louis coach postseason games with the Montreal Canadiens?
Probably not. I think he's probably going to be moved on from by the time they're like in it, and like he might get. I could see it being a situation of he's there for like the first year of them, maybe making a crazy, not a crazy run, but like a crazy surprise season to get into like a first round matchup, and then lose. But I don't know. It makes me feel like they might need. The more that his time goes on, I think they might eventually need to get a guy that knows a little more. Not that I'm saying Marty St. Louis is dumb, but like he literally was only ever coaching a Pee-wee hockey team before he came here.
He also was brought in to just kind of get people to play. Like he was brought in to just kind of get people to enjoy playing. He was have fun.
A heavily vibes based coach. Yeah. I will say that.
Yeah, and he's done a great job.
There's still plenty of time for that to come around this year. Like it's obviously still in very early days in terms of they can build from here. I'm not that worried about it. But then like you get later into the week, that game against Washington on Halloween night, they were in it for a while, but they have a tendency to have a lot of breakdowns compound on each other at once. Like there was 2 separate moments where I think they gave up 2 goals quick in that game. And then the one that got me to turn it off was Christian Dvorak passing it from behind the Habs net to a Capital forward out front.
dear.
to make it 4-3 in a moment where make it 4-3 Caps in a moment where they had like just kind of been getting back into it and were looking okay, and then Christian Dvorak just fucking. So that was rough. And then I couldn't watch the one last night because it was on NHL Network, so it got blacked out on ESPN Plus. But from what I saw, I didn't miss a ton anyway. So not a great week for Habs hockey. I'll say that. I'm interested to see where it goes. We had our first bag skate of the Marty St. Louis era after that Capitals game. He was none too pleased.
Dang.
So we're trying not to freak out too much because it's still early, and also I didn't expect this team to be great this year. I did expect progression from where they were, which they have not shown at all. So hopefully we can maybe see a bit of a pivot coming out of this. But the one shining beacon, nice thing that's happening right now with the Habs is Cole Caulfield is in a 4-way tie for the Rocket Richard race. He has 10 goals in 12 games.
That's awesome.
Small
Beauty.
goals boy keeps scoring. That's been nice.
USA bitches.
Yeah, I mean, if he keeps this up, he'll have to.
I don't
make
see
the
how.
Four Nations
Yeah,
roster.
I don't see how they keep him off there.
Like, I don't think he'll be high in the lineup, but like probably like a third, fourth line kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't.
Because with the international stuff, it's all. It's not the same kind of line configurations you see as in.
You don't
it's
need
all
grinders
skill
on the
guys.
fourth line.
Yeah.
You need or you get people who can do both, like a Matt Kachuk.
Or that, which I mean,
Dude.
there's going to be some annoying motherfuckers on the American team this year. The two Kachuk brothers alone, yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
We get to see what the power of two Kachucks on one team is
I'm
like.
so excited, dude, and I hate those
the
guys
NHL
too.
was keeping them apart for our own safety before. Now.
Dude,
we'll
you wait. They're gonna wreck shop, and then the next one whose contract is done, they're gonna be doing some chatting, and they're gonna be like, "Come on,
honestly,
dude, let's do it."
I
man.
could see it. I could see it happening. I could see it happening.
Let's do it. And then honestly,
anyhow,
watch
that's
out.
the Habs. I don't want to talk anymore about the Habs.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Let me talk quick about the Senators. We didn't get a message from Nick. He's otherwise engaged tonight with his
family
wife.
Stuff.
He's having dinner with his wife and his wife's family, so that's nice.
Yes.
But let me look. I do have their record from the week. So they actually had a decent week. They were on the opposite side of a big ass 8-goal blowout, and they were the ones scoring the 8 goals against St. Louis. They won that. 8-1 was that one. That was, dear me. I don't know who was in that game, but if it was Binnington.
You know what's crazy? That was the same night. That was the same night as the big Habs game that Ben was talking about, the Kraken game. Because that's the I went from that game to him, and I'm like, another game with 8 goals. I'm like,
just blowouts across the board. Damn.
What are the chances?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I will say, I chose the center. It was a bit of a trolley choice to put them in the third spot on the Atlantic. I could see them making the playoffs, dude. I don't know if it'll be. I don't know if it'll be third, but
possibility.
They've got a real shot right now of a wild card spot. The way they're playing.
Well, it helps that Boston is not.
Yes,
not
and we will get to that later on.
Yeah.
Ho.
Yes, we will.
So they won that game against St. Louis 8-1. They lost to the Rangers, but it was a 2-1 game. So so they kept it close with the Rangers, who are kind of the bar right now on the East, honestly, other than Florida. But that's Florida, dude. Jesus, can't stop them. And then
Atlantic really is stupid. The Habs
it's
are
quite wild.
4 points out of a playoff spot.
It's quite wild. Wait, are they 4 points out of a playoff spot, or are they 4 points out of?
They're 4 points out of third.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well,
the Leafs are only at 13 points. The Habs are at 9. Same games played.
Oh wow, yeah, I guess so.
The whole Atlantic is just.
It's close, dude. It's close. And then Ottawa finished off. I don't remember when this game was, but they shut out Seattle 3-0. So that's nice. Nice for them. So they had a 2-1 week, and the only game they lost, it was by 1 goal, and it was the Rangers. So they're looking pretty good. You want to
Good
go?
on the
You want to
Sens.
go there, Rick, with your Isles? They also
Yeah,
not a great week.
that's an understatement, but you are. So I hope you enjoyed my Islanders rant that I sickly wrote last week. Absolutely just unbelievable hockey from the New York Islanders. All right, so they sit 7th in the Metro right now, behind the Pittsburgh Penguins, which fills me with so much pain.
Damn.
I don't think you guys.
Because they're also ass this year. I mean,
Yeah.
they beat the Habs twice already, but that doesn't mean much.
And they also sit behind the Columbus Blue Jackets, which obviously with the offseason, everyone is rooting for Columbus, including me. If you're going to make the playoffs, you probably don't want to be behind Columbus in the standings. That's going to be my take there. I think it's pretty logical. So the Islanders week in review. Tuesday, they lost to the Anaheim Ducks in regulation.
That's not great.
On Wednesday, they got shut out by Columbus 2-0.
Also not great.
On Friday, they rebounded with a win against the Sabres.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. And then today they lost to the Rangers. So a nice little 1-3 week.
Damn.
Against some really crap opponents.
Yeah, I mean the Rangers good, but
yeah. And the thing is, 2 of those games, the Ducks and the Blue Jackets, right? Those are points in April, right? You're gonna be like, damn.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had 4 points from those games.
Oh yeah.
My goodness, like just wildly inconsistent hockey. I think I saved some stats, to be honest. I think they're probably like lost in my camera roll or something. So I forget. I might have saved them on Instagram or something. But the Islanders have played 10 games this season. I think now they're at let me check real quick. They're at 12. So this was 2 games ago. They played 10 games this season, and they were shut out in 4 of them. So almost half the games they have played so far this year, they've been shut.
That's rough.
And once again, Ilya Sorokin is having a great year, numbers-wise. He's back to his old self. And I got the chance to watch him play against the Rangers today, and he looked fantastic. I know they lost 5-2, but he looked great. And he has had I think, and again, this is earlier in the week, I think 3 out of his 4 starts, the goal support he's gotten is 1 goal or less. It's like, same thing, right? It's like seeing Cole Caulfield, right? You're like, damn, imagine having a Rocket Richard winner, right? On a team like Montreal, considering where they are in the standings, right?
Yeah.
Ilya Sorokin, I'm just like, it's very hard to do this, but he could win the Vezina and the Islanders could be like 25th in the NHL. If it
makes you feel any better with the trajectory I'm hearing from these Islanders, I think y'all are about to go on an insane run to the Cup Finals before you then crater into the earth the next year and Lou Lamoriello gets fired. Because this feels very familiar.
Yeah. You're like, the Bergevin era.
I've seen this before.
Again, nothing to really talk about. Same thing, Benny. Like, it's just poor play. I'm not on Twitter anymore. Not really. I re-download it every once in a while. A lot of the Islanders like fan base on Twitter is saying like, man, they're just playing such unlucky hockey right now. Like they outplay teams and they outshoot teams. And that's true. They do play well and outshoot teams, but like, what about the results? Like, who's finishing? Where are the wins against teams like Anaheim and Columbus? Like, it doesn't matter if you skate and pass really well and get 40 shots on net. Like, none of them won. Who cares?
Another question is, like, where are those shots coming from? Are they, like, because Carolina has done that for years, where they're, like, getting 50 shots on the net, but, like, 30 of them are just, like, floaters from the blue line.
It reminds me Well, it reminds me, when everyone was really high on Calgary and they kept outplaying teams and doing all this and they weren't scoring, right?
Yeah.
Look at where they were now. They had to blow some shit up, right, and make some changes. It just sometimes that's how it goes. But the big news this week, and you guys may have seen this, Matt Barzal is now injured with a lower body injury. Out. Oh, sorry, upper body injury, I think.
Yeah.
I don't.
I have the list here if you want it.
Oh, there we go. Yep. He's out 4 to.
I got.
Adam Pelech is out with an injury as well, 4 to 6 weeks, and Anthony Duclair
still out.
This is the whole season, I think.
Duclair, Barzal, and Pelech. A team that does not have the depth to handle those losses.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough few weeks, I think.
It's a few weeks. So we'll see. I'll just end this segment by saying we'll see how deep of a hole the Islanders get into in the next month. Because that honestly, especially with the skill in the Metro, that'll determine whether or not they actually have a shot at making the playoffs. I know it's so early in the season, but man, just not a lot of great things happening. And as for Wah, I don't really know what the story. You guys may have questions about that and his future and stuff like that. I'm still thinking about that in my head. I still have some things bouncing around. How do I feel about this? So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
All right,
that's the Islanders.
Nice, beauty.
Happy Halloween.
Okay.
Well, Mike, has your team been ass?
No, actually, no.
Oh, finally, someone whose team's doing good.
Yeah, well, we would have had Nick on here with the Sens, but he's not.
Yeah.
No, the Lightning have been doing fine, dude. So they played 4 games this week. They played one earlier today in the afternoon, and they were 2-2. So they won the first 2. They beat Nashville in Tampa in Steven Stamkos' homecoming. And you would have known because the broadcasters mentioned it every time he was on the ice, I think. Good Lord, it was all they said. I was excited about it, and I'm glad that it was a big thing, but it was that was the story of the game. It was Steven Stamkos' homecoming.
I mean, it's gonna
Steven Stamkos' homecoming.
Gonna be.
Yes, but in the third period, I don't think we need to be hearing about it anymore.
It's like announcers. I think everybody's got it. Yep.
Yes. Most people watching the game had it before the game.
Yeah.
But the Lightning did win that one. It was an OT. It went to OT. So, and Nashville played pretty well. And Stamkos actually got 2 assists on those 2 goals. I really wanted him to pot one because the crowd, it would have been the weirdest thing of all time because the crowd would have gone nuts for an opposing team scoring. It would have been the weirdest thing.
I can only imagine because the Habs crowd did that with the year after Arturi Lehkonen went to Colorado and then came back to Montreal. He scored a goal in Montreal and the crowd cheered. And that was just because he was a dude who scored. Well, not just. He was the dude who scored a goal that sent him to the Cup final. So they remember that. But if it's just for that, then I can only imagine what it would be like in Tampa.
It would have been insane.
That would have been sick.
But he didn't do. He didn't get her done. He was close a couple times, but
yeah.
But they won that one. Then speaking of Colorado, they beat Colorado. They almost beat Colorado in the first 3 minutes of the game. It was I think it was 4 or 5 minutes in. It was 3-0.
Oh my shit.
Which Colorado's super hurt and super depleted. So I was glad they you can only win the games in front. So it's good that they won that game, but we'll see when Colorado gets back to full form. Obviously, that will probably not be the case.
Yeah, they're wrecked right now. It's really rough. It's I swear every day I go on Twitter, it's this guy's also down for several months. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, dude. It's unfortunate. But then they played, it was their second game in the last 2 weeks against Minnesota, and they lost again. Minnesota is a good team.
I was say Minnesota's kind of a wagon this year. Nick was the only one on that.
They're kind of just a good team, it seems. They're second in the Central behind the best team in the league, which would be the Jets, who the Lightning played today. But yeah, so they lost 5-3 against Minnesota, and I believe it was a 1-goal game with an empty netter, as usual.
Dang.
So not bad, but like everyone's playing well. What I will say is the second line. They've swapped the lines around. I think the beginning of the year it was Hagel, Sorelli, and Paul on the second line, which I liked the sound of. I was like, that sounds like an annoying line to play against. They've swapped it around because I think they realize that they kind of need to spread their center depth around a little more, because I think 2 of those guys were centers. Paul's a center.
Okay.
So they dropped Paul to the third line, and then they brought up Connor Geeky to the second line with those other 2. That line has been so good, like really good, like really really good, like good on the forecheck, good in their own end. They've been putting goals in. Like this year is not the same. Kucherov is not part of every single goal like he was last year.
Right.
Good.
It's very good. It's definitely good. But yeah, that second line's been really good.
I have a question. Did
Yes.
Geeky score his first NHL goal when he was moved up to that second line? Is that when he scored it?
Yes.
Or did he score? Awesome.
Yeah, on that second line, and then like 2 games later, he got another one, and it was a beauty of a play, dude. Beauty of a play.
Nice.
How are we feeling about Gensel these days?
He's been good.
Yeah,
he's been good. He's fit in well with that first line. Yeah, that's all I can say. He looks okay. He's fucking small, man. Good lord. Like,
yeah,
jeez, like that line, like there's nobody on that line that's got any kind of size. But well, hey, whatever. It works. They're fast and they do stuff.
They are good at that hockey.
Yep. And then that brings us to Sunday today. And the Lightning played the best team in the league, the Winnipeg Jets. And they actually played them okay. I think it was tied going into the third period. No. Yeah. It was tied 1-1, I think, going into the third period. And then
okay.
I look over like 5 minutes in, and it's like 3-2 or something. I'm like, Jesus, guys. So it was just a big bunch of scoring. And then the Jets ended up in the lead. And it was 5-4, and then the Lightning pulled the goalie a couple times, and it ended 7-4. So Vasi was not in this game. It was a Johansson special. But I don't think he did that bad. There was a couple goals where he was screened. Like he clearly did not know where the puck was when it went in. Like he was still looking around after it was in the net. So it was like, okay, he just didn't see it. Like you can't really blame him for that. But not a bad game. Once again, they are the best team in the league. And as good as
people are losing to the Jets.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to temper my expectations because the Lightning have played they haven't played super strong opponents. Other than the Jets, the Wild, and then the Maple Leafs. Because the Maple Leafs are a good team. They just are. They haven't played super strong opponents. So I'm like tempering my expectations because obviously this team is not as good as the team they've had in the past.
Right.
And they're currently second in the Atlantic. So I doubt highly that continues. Especially since a certain Braden Point left the game today and did not come back. So
that's not what you want.
That's really we're gonna see what they're made of now. We're gonna see what this depth is made of. Because you're not replacing Braden Point. So who even plays? So like they left. So he had to go because he got hurt. I don't know what the injury was. Hopefully it's nothing bad. But then I think they just started to rotate lines. Like they didn't even do a first line, second line, and then rotate in the bottom half. They just were rotating everybody in and around.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. But we can check in with the scoring race and whatnot. Kucherov, obviously the top scorer, is at 20 points. Tied for fourth with Nate Mack.
Nate Mack, dude.
Yep. And also also in that 4-way tie for first for the Rocket is Cooch.
Indeed.
He's been shooting.
Right.
Although his 10th goal.
Was a little goofy.
Oh yeah. So Hellebuck goes out to play the puck, and Hagel is in. Hagel's all in, and he goes in and he rushes him. He rushes Hellebuck, and one of I forget who the defenseman was. The defenseman gets it, and it kind of gets bopped out to the front of the net, and Nemesnikov is there, and he takes it and has it like in front of the net, and Kucherov's coming in, and Kucherov just poke checks it, and Hellebuck, who is sliding back in front of the net, it just slides right in between his 5-hole on a poke check.
Oh wow.
It was a totally weird goal, but whatever.
A poke check goal is a snipe. You heard it here first. That's a
certified snipe from Cooch.
That's a snipe. Yep.
But yeah, so that's what they're doing. So they're currently second at the Atlantic. That very well could change. The Leafs are playing right now, and are 1 point behind. So if the Leafs get a win, they will jump them. But
okay,
I don't expect them to end second. I expect them in the third spot, maybe a wild card. Depending on what happens with Point, because if he's out long term, you maybe expect him outside that wild card, because it drops off, boys. After that first and second line,
is a bit lacking.
It's a bit.
You feel like you have the depth this year compared to other years, right? It just doesn't have that oomph that it used to have, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because in years past, we had Stamkos, who is a center. He came into the league as a center. He never played it at the end here, but so we could have him slot in as a center. But yeah, so now it's what do we got? Sorelli's a center. We've got Nick Paul as a center. I think that's it, man. The center depth is not what it was, but
yeah,
that's okay.
Right.
Hopefully he'll be okay, and everything will be hunky dory. But that will remain to be seen. Okay, are we taking a little break here, gentlemen?
If we
yes,
could, please.
Small little break. All right, we'll be back.
I need to grab a phone.
Oh, nice. Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Duster Squad podcast has returned from their break. And we're going in, so we had a little heat meter at the beginning of the episode, but now we're going into the NHL-specific heat meter. So I've got two choices here, and I know who I'm going to choose for each. Eric, I'm going to have you go first.
Okay.
So, did I send you guys that Scoville scale, or did I never do that?
I just pull it up. I usually just pull it up.
All right, I'll throw it in the chat after this. Okay, so Eric, you are playing the role of Jimmy Monty in Boston.
Oh.
Yes.
Old Montgomery.
Yep. How hot is it getting in your office in Boston? The Bruins are currently, I believe, after tonight 6-6-1, and I think are maybe sole possession of 6th in the Atlantic. I have to check that. But how hot is it, and how uncomfortable are you?
This is gonna be my personal take here. Like Eric, not Eric being Jim.
Okay.
But I really do.
Let me before you talk, because I just looked up the new standings. Sorry about that. They are 6-6-1, like I said, but they have taken 4th place now and are tied points wise with the Leafs.
Okay. Oh, they won today then.
They did.
Okay. Okay. So Jim Montgomery. If I'm Jim Montgomery, this is what I tell management. I'd be like, hey, management, I've gotten you, and I don't know the number of wins because I don't follow the Bruins. Sorry. I've gotten you so many wins over the past 2 seasons. Like, you got rid of Bruce Cassidy, obviously, but you brought me in. and I've done everything that you've asked me to do. The playoff success was not there, obviously. The choke to Florida in round 1 of the best NHL season of all time. And then they beat the Leafs last year, and then again got steamrolled by Florida. What I feel like is this. Boston Bruins management, who could barely handle the Swayman deal this offseason, maybe give me some things to work with here, because Jim Montgomery made a Bruins team that, again, they had good players, but like a Bruins team that we were like, it's old, it might regress a little bit. They had the best.
They didn't have when like Bergevin and Krejci left after that
Bergeron?
collapse against Bergeron. Yeah, sorry.
I was heard that. I was like, hold on.
They did not have the forward depth, and he made a whole lot out of not much with the roster they had of forwards. So like, he's done a lot. But...
Let me run down what they are working with, what he's working with right now.
Yeah, I think this is important. Thank you for vouching. I appreciate it.
Yes. So this is what you, Jimmy, are working with. Top line, Brad Marchand, aging Brad Marchand, Elias Lindholm, David Pasternak. That's not bad.
No.
Second line, Pavel Zacha, Charlie Coyle, Justin Brazeau. That sounds like a pretty solid third line to me.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
It's their third line, Trent Frederick, Matthew Poitras, Poitras, Poitras.
I think he Americanizes it. Yeah.
Okay. Morgan Geekie on the right wing. Morgan Geekie. What a beauty. Bring him to Tampa. Get him with his brother. And then the fourth line is John Beecher, Mark Kastelik, and Cole Koepka, a Lightning legend.
So the only Bruins stuff I've been following is that fourth line has actually been okay for Boston. But that's the issue, right? Like for me, Jim Montgomery, I need more production from the players before I feel like my seat gets that hot. You know what I'm saying? It is still early in the season. I know it is important, but let's see what these players do, especially after facing some adversity right now. Like there are expectations when you're a Boston Bruin, you know?
Yeah.
There are. And like you said, when you were reading off the top of the lineup, it's really not that bad. I want to see those guys step up more. So I think the Heat is, I'm going to say for Jim, it's a jalapeno right now. I think it's hotter for the players. I want to see what the players do. I think Jim Montgomery gets a bit more leeway than other coaches do, because we see teams all the time just go, get rid of the coach. I know it might not be make that much sense, but we just need a new voice. We need to just shake things up a little bit rather than blow up a roster. Much easier to just get rid of a coach and then recycle the 30 coaches that the NHL recycles every year and just bring one of those guys in, right?
It's 35.
But 30, yeah. And I think he's at a jalapeno right now because people are starting to pay attention to it, but I still think more onus is on the players. So that's my take.
All right. What do you think about that?
It's like
Benjamin.
What's like a rung or two above jalapeno?
Cayenne.
Okay.
Yeah, let's give it a cayenne. It's a lot of what Eric said too, where the track record of the last couple of years, the sheer amount of wins he's had, it's gonna buy him a bit more time than it's gonna buy most coaches. But it's not been a good start.
It's not.
No.
It's not been a good start at all. So we'll see how that changes for them, if it does. But it's definitely getting toasty. I think the chair's warming up. The seat heater is on.
Yes, it is. I would agree more with Benny. I would say closer to a cayenne, mostly just because if management decides that a change needs to be made, it's going to be the coach. It's not going to be the players.
It's always the coach.
It's always the coach. Because
That's true.
Easier. It's easier. You can just say, see ya, and then hire somebody else. You can do that. You can't really do that with a player. You have to go through waivers, or you got to buy them out, or you got to do this and that, and you can't, it's just a lot easier to just get rid of the coach. that being said, they have not had a great start, and yet, by the grace of the Atlantic Division, they are fourth in the Atlantic Division after not having a great start, and are only they're only one more win away from second place in the division.
Yeah.
So they are still very much in the conversation for playoffs, obviously. So, Benny,
Yes.
I think you'll enjoy this one.
All right.
You are playing the role of one John Cooper, but you are not playing the role of him as a Tampa Bay head coach. You are playing the role of him as Team Canada's head coach.
Ah.
Yes.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Yes.
All right.
So how hot is it when you're looking at your roster and you're like, wow, that forward group, I like that. That defense, that's
Can't
pretty
complain.
good. And then you get all the way to goalie and you're like, wow, my best choice is a 903 save percentage, Jordan Bennington.
Yeah, because where is Stuart Skinner at?
I can't be much better than that, but let me look.
Yeah, and Aiden Hill.
Hayden Hill is like 880 something.
Because the four names that everybody has brought up with that roster is primarily
872 for Stu Skinner. That is so bad.
Oh boy.
The four names that people have primarily brought up are Jordan Bennington, obviously, Stuart Skinner, Aiden Hill, and then on the periphery, it's more so I think Habs fan copium than it is anything. But Sam Montembeault has been mentioned at times, although the way this season's going so far, we would like to be in a better spot with our goalies, but it's based on nationalities. We got to play the hand we're dealt here. And I think a lot of the guys that we have that we're looking at have shown in moments that they can get up for it. And I think our main defense and the main way we're going to help them is the fact that our forwards are going to be so kick-ass that they're not even going to be down on our end. We don't have to worry about it. Goalies are barely going to have to do anything. But on a more serious note, it's definitely a bit toasty. You'd want to have a better situation in net for sure. I don't know, what's like 2/3 of the way up?
2/3 of the way, you're looking at 2/3 of the way, like a ghost pepperish.
Yeah.
Habanero ghost pepper.
Let's give it that, because it's not where you want to be, but we're a strong enough team overall that I think we'll be able to make whatever work with the guys we got, I think.
All right, Eric, what do you think about that?
Honestly, I'm also gonna say like habanero kind of range, because I do think this is the one time where Canada's depth is insane, and I know goalies are important. But I do think, especially if you're a good enough coach as John Cooper, you like won't shy away from like, oh, we're just gonna pretend that this isn't a weakness. Like he probably will be like, not in a way where he's like, all right, everyone, our goalies suck. So but like in a way where he might design the structure of the team to be a certain way, to like, allow a bunch of shots maybe, but keep them all to the outside, because that's what these goalies would be consistent with, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely heating up, but nothing crazy. As the season goes on, if injuries and stuff happen, that'll get real interesting. But that's a whole nother conversation. So
yes,
I think right now.
All right. Can you guys talk? Can one of you guys talk for me?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, cool.
Testing.
For a second, it was so quiet. I was like, did my headphones crap out? So, in my opinion, because it's John Cooper, the real true answer to this is a bell pepper. He does not.
He does not care.
Does not get rattled, ever. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a bell pepper. He's probably worried. I'd say a guajillo or a jalapeno. Okay. They're right around the same.
Okay.
Just because he had to go the beginning of last year. He had to run a team where the two goalies were
Johansson and
Johansson
Tompkins, right?
and Tompkins. Yes.
And Tompkins was essentially a scheduled loss most nights, right? He did not do
No,
well.
he wasn't terrible.
I thought he didn't have a great. I might be
I
misremembering.
mean, he
that.
was the third string goalie, so it probably wasn't
Right.
great.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, he probably didn't do great, but like if expectations for our expectations, he did all right.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so he does have some experience doing that, and I feel like he will be able to design, as Eric said, design the play and how the team's structure will structurally be on the ice to support the goaltenders.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's super
I
worried.
think all the goalies there are good enough to make it work.
Yes.
If you do it well enough around them.
I agree.
It's not where you want to be. It's not like fucking US. What is it? Hellebuck, Ottinger. What's the third one I'm forgetting? Who's
I mean, Swayman is also
great.
there.
Swayman, Demko, if he ever comes back from injury.
It's
for Swayman.
Yeah, the U.S. Yeah, well, that was what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, if the U.S. forwards can develop any kind of chemistry with each other, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tough. They're gonna be a tough game, no matter what.
The U.S. is. I'm fairly certain, not knowing the entire roster, obviously, but I think U.S. will be the most balanced team across the board.
Certainly the most balanced. Canada's forwards are the stars. They have the best forward core. Defense, you want to say Sweden because that's what they're known for or what they've been known for. I don't know if I would, but
I don't know if it is this go around.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. We'll talk about that because actually, what we're going to talk about right now, gents, I planned the show perfectly because it segues right into the next thing. We have 4 weeks until the rosters need to be submitted, so each weekend we will have a show and we will be going over NHL.com's projected lineup of the rosters. So we're starting with the Finnish roster. We're gonna start with probably the in most people's estimation the lowest skill.
Just on paper, probably the weakest roster, but
still gonna have a chance to do some damage.
The Finns, they're pesky as hell.
Yes, they are. Those pesky bastards. So this is what they've got on the forwards. They've got Sebastian Aho, Barkov, Granlund. I don't know why I have Granlund again. I'm assuming he's only there once. Haula, Hintz.
Or are there 2 Granlunds?
I don't think so. I think it was only one.
Mikhail and...
I think it was just Mikhail. Joe Granlund.
Anyhow, Joe Granlund.
So yeah, Eric Haula, Rupe Hintz, your boy Lehkonen.
Hell yeah.
Lundell.
Lecky.
Luosterainen. Machelli. Rantanen. Teravainen. And Tolvanen. Those are the forwards. So not bad. Not too bad.
You can make that forward group work. Yeah.
Not too bad. I don't know why I had Granlund in there twice. But yeah, so they obviously don't have they didn't do it like lines. They just kind of did the list. You have to assume it's interesting because you've got Aho and Barkov, both centers. Is their center depth enough to where they can throw 2 centers on a line, or will they be like, yeah, we kind of got to split it up?
They're doing the team. They might be doing the Team Canada approach of
I don't think they would have enough to do that. I assume
Probably
that
not.
they'll throw Barkov on the top C.
He'll be top center,
and Aho on the second. Or do you do Aho? Or do you do Aho with an offensive line and Barkov with a defensive lineup? Not necessarily line 1, line 2, but different. Like you match up against the top players on the other team.
Barkov be the shutdown. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And then obviously kind of underrated in here, Rupe Hintz. He didn't do jack shit for me this week, but he's a good player still. Bastard.
He is.
But yeah, so he's there. Teravainen, because he's in the absolute disaster that is Chicago. You don't really know,
Yeah.
but I think he's having a pretty good season.
Yeah, from what I saw,
Alongside
I guess Bedard and him
Bedard.
are getting some chemistry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Their defense, their defense is interesting. So they've got Heiskanen, Yoki Haru. I don't remember where he is. I know he played in Buffalo for a little bit. Lindell, I believe that's Essa Lindell
Yeah.
of the
What?
Dallas Stars, maybe.
Yes.
Yep.
That sounds right.
Oli Mata, Nico Mikkola,
Okay.
Juuso Välimäki. Okay, and then we've got, so there's two here that I want to highlight. The first one is Hakanpää, who is currently not playing.
He's
Hasn't
played yet. He's close.
But he's skating and stuff, so he's up in a boat.
Yeah, he's close.
Up in a boot. Okay, so there's him, and then you gotta applaud Rick's boy, Risto.
Yep.
Lord.
Bring that man
they're thin enough for Risto to make it. Oh no.
He's probably number 7.
Bring that. Listen, this is
Yeah,
probably gonna be. This just throw him there for depth. Just get him in there.
Yeah.
Throw him at forward. Fuck it.
Honest, dude, please. I wish people would make these shitty big defensemen. These
power forward.
They're
winger.
so bad at defense, but they have so offensive skill. Just put them on the wing, guys. Just go in there, bang and crash, and put some goals in.
There definitely has been several players of our lifetime where it's like, hey man, I think you could extend your career for a good long while if you just make this change.
Seriously. Like I wonder if I don't even know, maybe the coaches, they're not even thinking of it, or they're like, yeah, frig that, we don't want to do that. But I feel like that would be such a good idea.
Well, also it's competitive, people. It's hard to admit that you're not as good at this position you've been playing your whole life and wanted to play. You're not as good at that. Can we shift? But at a certain point, it's man, I think you'd work a lot better in this spot.
Yeah, and you'd have more fun probably.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
And then their goaltenders are Ville Husso, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and of course Jussi Saros.
Saros. Okay.
Yeah. Who for some reason I thought was Swiss. But he's not.
No.
Yeah.
I
you know who is Swiss? JJ Moser.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yep.
I think
American ass sounding Swiss dude.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, it's JJ
what
is
does
short.
J stand for? Yeah. That could maybe change things. Jean-Jacques, because they speak French in Switzerland.
Jean-Jacques. Dude, I fucking hope it's Jean-Jacques. What's his real name, dude? Tell me. It's Janice Jerome.
Ah.
But Jean-Jacques, he should change it.
I was just guessing because I know they speak French in Switzerland, but I think they speak 3 languages. I think it's
German.
French, German, and Italian.
Nice. Speaking of Italian, Eric, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think the most intriguing part of Finland is the defense, because I feel like Finland's one of those teams where every forward is a defensively sound forward. I feel like it's just you look at Barkov leading the way, so talented offensively but very responsible. And I feel like the defense is fun because Mikkola just won a Stanley Cup. Hakanpää, and Mikkola's huge. Hakanpää is also huge. You got Heiskanen and Lindell who can kind of run some offense, right? So I feel like their top 4 isn't too bad. I think it'll be interesting.
It's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
I will say
They're going to be the underdog team of the group.
They will be.
But I think they'll be competitive.
Do they win? Yeah. Do they win a game?
They'll win a game.
I think they could beat Sweden or Canada.
Yes, I agree.
They'll win a game.
They cannot beat the United States. Now that I said that, they will. They'll beat them in the first game.
Now you just guaranteed it.
Yep.
No.
And I will say,
and it was Matthew's fault.
Just ahead of time, you're just saying. Of the 4 jerseys, I think theirs is the cleanest that's been released so far. I know, I mean, Sweden's is always the same. I don't know why they went with like a darker blue,
No,
almost
yeah,
black.
that's
It's
dumb.
like
That's dumb. It's
they should have
Predators
just done
colors,
their
dude.
usual. They should have just done their usual blue. But I do really like the Finnish jersey.
It's nice.
It's quite nice.
It's got the Suomi on it, whatever that means.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I think pretty sure it's Finland and Finnish.
All right then. I am from Suomi.
Swami.
But yeah, so one I say notable that I left off because there will be more notables left off for some of the other countries, but the only one I found was Capo Caco. He's kind of just he's kind of just around. I don't know if he's having a great year.
Yeah.
So I think, and who knows, he may be on the team. This is just NHL.com's projected. So
Yes, right.
and there could be
So it
some.
gives you a good idea of the names that
There could
we're
also
probably gonna see.
probably be some players from Finland, like not in the NHL, right? They could do that.
Are they allowing
They
for
could.
that? I
Or maybe they're
wonder.
not. Maybe they're not.
I know with a lot of these NHL run events, I mean that was the whole reason why Team North America and Team Europe existed, was they were like, we're keeping it within NHLPA players. But
NHL only, yeah. Okay,
I
that's
don't know
probably
off the top
well,
of my I don't know off the top of my head if they've expanded it
Yeah.
or not. But
who knows? So never mind. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the episode, gentlemen. Next week, we'll have a little look at Sweden to finish off the episode.
Ooh,
Yes, yes, indeed.
the Swedes.
All right,
also I looked it up. Swami is Finnish for Finland.
Swami.
There we go.
All right, very cool.
Swami, I don't know.
I
One
don't
or the
know.
other.
Who knows? Wait, we could look it up. I'll look it up later. Yeah. All right, you guys have any parting words before we end the show?
No.
No.
All
That's
right
it.
then. There it is. All right. We will see everybody next week, hopefully with Nick in tow. And until then, stay safe, have a good week, and enjoy the hockey. The fucking Lightning have a week off, by the way, next week.
Like, is this their bye week coming up?
Yeah, it must be. They play Thursday, and then they don't play until next Thursday. And I was like, what the hell?
Damn.
But that's
They're
fine.
having their bye week early this year. Damn.
Yeah, they're going to be tired. They're going to be tired in the end. Just
Yeah.
like I am right now. All right.
Yeah.
See everybody next week.